let's go back to how this thing really started, okay? It was 1988, and it was the creative mind of Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson, who was an amazing wrestler in the ring. We know him more as the guy in the office, or I do anyway. When I think of Pat Patterson, I think of him being an office guy, right? And his in-ring moments throughout, especially the Attitude Era stuff, were amazing. But Pat had this idea of, let's take a battle royal that he saw throughout those wrestling stampedes and whatnot, and he said, let's build a storyline around it. Let's make it matter. What once was just pure chaos and just, it was 20 to 30 men going into a ring, just beating the hell out of each other, trying to throw someone over the top rope. There was no story that was being told. It was just a spectacle for the fans more than anything. It was just an opportunity for fans to see just mayhem. Pat had a different mindset. He had a different idea. He had a different way of thinking. He said, I think that we could actually tell a story. I think that we could build something here. I think that there's an opportunity with the right people and the right way of doing it. There is a story to be told. As we've heard before, wrestling isn't about the moves. It's about, can you tell a story? To see a 30 men, 20, 30 men in a ring together, what story can be told from that? Well, Pat had a different mind than most, maybe one of the most creative minds ever. He put together this idea, this thing that he saw elsewhere. And the first winner, first of all, the first Royal Rumble, 20-man format, so it didn't even have 30 men. This wasn't even a pay-per-view. It was on USA Network. You could watch it on cable, right? Now, we have to mortgage off our house and sell a kid to be able to watch wrestling. But back then, you could just watch it on USA Network. What he wanted was the winner to establish credibility, and the winner that he needed to establish the credibility in 1988 was someone who was really over the time, and that was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Duggan was relatable. He was a blue-collar babyface. And Pat needed someone like him to really get the fans to buy in. That was the big thing. Can the fans buy in? They love a battle royal. Everyone loves a battle royal. But can they buy it as something that is an actual significant moment? It's an actual significant match that matters for the rest of the year. Can he do that? He needed Duggan to be able to help create that. So Hacksaw goes in, he is just, it's just nothing but just brawling grit. He had no strategy. None of the wrestlers really had a strategy. No one knew what to do during these things. At the time, 20 men, all of them massive. There was no small guys back then. And they're all inside this ring. They can't really do their moves that they typically would do. There's nothing there's no calling shots, it doesn't seem like. It's just, okay, we know who the winner is going to be. I would love to know if there was a strategy with Pat. Did he say this person needs to be gone first, this person second, this person third, and let's get down to this, to where Duggan versus one-man gang, let's have them as the last two to build a story maybe moving forward. I don't know if he even had that concept or that thought process at that point in time. I just know that Duggan comes in, beats the hell out of everybody. Everyone's just throwing haymakers. It was just crazy. And he's the last man standing. What was great about that, what was important about that Royal Rumble, is that instantaneously the fans understood it. They understood the rules. You could not even be a fan of professional wrestling. Turn on the Royal Rumble, and first of all, you're going to see all these men in a ring fighting each other, so you're instantly going to watch it. But then the rules are easy. No pinfalls. Throw the man over. Last man standing wins. Boom. This is easy. That first one, it proved that the Royal Rumble, that concept would work. I think Pat and Vince saw early on, this is something that we can make happen. This is something that can be part of that yearly run of pay-per-views that we'll have. And that's what it did. It set the foundation for everything that followed for the rest of the year. Like I said, he'll pave the way. It sets the table, sets the tone, especially now with the winner getting, a title shot, main event spot at WrestleMania. That first year, a lot of times it takes a few years to work out the kinks on something. That first year, it caught on pretty easily. The second year, Big John Studd wins it, okay? Now, Pat knows, Vince knows, if we're going to make the Royal Rumble must-see TV, we're going to make the Royal Rumble must-buy pay-per-view. If we're going to make the Royal Rumble one of the big attractions of the year, the biggest attraction of all has got to win it. So you're coming from Duggan to Big John Studd. And then in 1990, the man who put more butts in the seats, the man who drew more money, the man who made the crowd erupt every single time he came out. He told us to take our vitamins and say our prayers, and by God, I did it every day. He is the immortal Hulk Hogan. And in 1990, Hulkamania ran wild on the Royal Rumble. Pat Patterson and Vince knew we needed Hogan to help establish this thing. And that's exactly what the Hulkster did. He made the Royal Rumble where guys wanted to participate because the money was in the house, by God.